SQL databases start to become really powerful when we connect data between tables. And that's a join. The first kind of join that we're going to talk about is an inner join, and we're going to look at other types of joins. But an inner join is where you have common data, like our name list has a state, and we have a state code, a 2-letter state code, and our state table has that same state code. So we can join data get together. Now, we've probably seen some of these joins in some of the other stuff as we've gone through, but I'm going to look specifically at an employee table that has a department code of 1, 2, 3, and null, and we're going to do some stuff with this department table. And, null is probably not a good department code to have. And here's the create for setting this up with a couple new tables, employee and department, the employees, how these things are laid out, some inserts into each one, and we're going to look at different ways that we can join that data together and get information out of our data. So let's start with running homework 17.1 and create these tables, and then we'll start working through the Now we have our two tables, our employee table and our department table. And this is actually file homework 17_1. We're going to go and run it in a second. Rather than have you type that in or cut and paste it, there's actually a file to run. And here's all the stuff in it. A few employees, a few departments. Let's go run this. As we do these different kinds of joins, we're really talking about the data in terms of sets and how those sets of data actually interact. Let's run it and make certain that we've got, yes, success on all of those things. So it's inserted some data for us. We've created some tables. And now let's take a look at our join conditions. The first one of these, well, let's do this so we fix the tables for later. Remember, when the sequence runs, if we provide the value, it doesn't increment. So what we have to do if we're going to increment stuff that has known values in it is we're going to have to tweak the sequence that is based on the serial in the table, the serial ID in the table, and change that so that it's larger than whatever value is in the table. And this alter command will do that. We will just put that in there and run it. And okay, it ran. And now let's, that we fixed our sequence, let's take a look at inner join. Inner join is where you have common data between the two. And if we just select the employee names and the departments, what we're going to get is, when we join the two together, just a regular join is an inner join. And we're going to get those employees that have departments. We're going to eliminate the employees that don't have departments. Now, that's an interesting thing because maybe we're interested in those. Maybe they shouldn't be there. But you'll see if we look through this that we pick up all of the employees that have a department and what department they're on. And when we join, we can actually get data from both tables. The department name, in this case sales, is coming from the department table, whereas the employee and the pay is coming from the employee table. So this gives us a way of putting data together and finding what's common between the two of them. Now, the second thing is a left outer join. Suppose that we want all the employees, but we want the department listed whenever there is a department. But if they're not in one, we just want null values. So let's try that. And you notice these two selects are not a lot different. I believe I have, instead of saying join, I have added the words left outer join. Left is the table up here from employee. Outer means that even if it's a null, it'll still produce a null value in the result. And now we see that we get, yes, department names of null, and Uncle Bob and Brother Charlie show up as being paid, whereas before they didn't. So those are the two most common joins. We're going to take a look at some other queries that we can do with that. So we're not just looking at that, but we can actually pick out where that department is null. And when we do that, we're going to find out how much we're eventually going to sum the amount of money that's being spent on people that are not in departments. Now, as soon as we start doing this, there's always a question of performance. But we find that there are 2 people that are not in the departments, and now we're going to group the data and add up the amount that they make. How much money is being spent on people that are not in departments? You know, that's always a question that you want to know, isn't it? Okay? These people don't do anything. How much money are we spending on them? $144,000 a year in salary for people that are not assigned anything. Very suspicious. Okay, don't forget to grade this.